When it was initially announced that Pete Buttigieg, who did pretty well in the Democratic primary, considering some of his fairly obvious flaws as a candidate and his past political service, was going to be up for transportation secretary, I think many people, and certainly we here at the Damage Report, said, wait, what? Why? What does he have to do with any of this? But now he is the transportation secretary. He's on the job. He's doing interviews. So let's see if we can see what it's gonna be like with him as a secretary. Maybe we were wrong. Let's take a look.
What's the biggest way that transportation has been permanently changed by the pandemic?
It's too soon to know for sure, but I think it's safe to say that our old patterns of life, the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday commuting patterns, are not gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah, and so how might that change what your staff does?
We think trains, planes, and automobiles, but what about bikes, scooters, wheelchairs for that matter?
Those are things you plan to pay more attention to.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, roads aren't only for vehicles. We got to make sure that pedestrians and individuals and bicyclists and businesses can all coexist on the same roadway.
Okay, so Jordan, there's nothing there that he said that is like terrible, and that's kind of the point. He always just says sort of like, yeah, let's all be on the road. Roads are for people, my friends. Let's all coexist on the road. But like, that's like his debut interview. Like, he was picked. It's a very big department with a gigantic budget, very important, and especially with all of our crumbling infrastructure, super important. And I don't know, that just felt like you just like I guess spread a layer of butter on my face, and that's it. I don't know what else. Like that, there was no substance to that. It was just like, sure, wheelchairs and scooters too. That's fine. Bicycles, I bicycle. I don't know. What did you think?
Again, it's just kind of hollow messaging from Pete. This is what he does. He'll say things and then he will structure his delivery in a very Obama style of oration or delivery, and he'll add an emphasis or a pause on certain phrases or words to make it sound more dramatic. And he uses like some Midwest charm to kind of spruce things up. But what he's talking about really shouldn't rise to the level of transportation secretary. That is a local issue when you're talking about pedestrian byways and bike lanes. That's a city issue. But because he is most recently a mayor, that informs his worldview because he's unqualified for the job. Like, you should be thinking about high-speed rail. How are we going to match something like what Japan has here? That's what the Secretary of Transportation should be doing. How are we going to build out our highways? Or revamp our highways? How are we going to find funding for more bridges? That is what the transportation secretary should be doing. Not, is this intersection in the shrubbery going to look nice next to the coffee shop?
Jordan, what are you talking about? He has laid out a plan for his next month. He's gonna be considering. There's a spot on Centinela that really could use a roundabout. I think it would be great considering the business flow and all of that. Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's just very like folksy, sort of inoffensive, but not up to the level. Like, do we both agree that he's only in this position? He only wanted this position, and they only gave him this position because it'll help him next time? That he doesn't care at all about transportation or infrastructure or anything like that?
Yeah, this gives him a talking point in 2024, 2028. It's like, I've cared about Main Street and blah, like just gives him some BS talking point when he runs again, because like he's been a mayor and he's taking care of streets all over the country. Like, he's back to taking care of Main Street. I'm sure they'll come up with some hollow line and they'll use this as part of that. That's what it is. It gives him an opportunity to pad his resume a little bit more because they want him to be a star in the Democratic Party. Like, they're forcing this guy on us, despite our generation largely saying like, buzz off, kid.
Yeah, my hope is that star is just running and losing for governor or something. Don't run for president again. But anyway, Gabby has a great super chat saying Pete Buttigieg was a Rhodes Scholar, not a Rhodes Scholar. He doesn't know as much as you might hope. Yeah, my hope is that I think he's incredibly ambitious. That's what all of this is about. And I hope that what that produces is him actually trying. and accomplishing something. I hope that it's just a position that he's gonna be able to talk about briefly in a debate in 4 years. But I hope that he actually tries to produce something to put substance to that LinkedIn exercise that he's engaged in right now. I really hope. Anyway. Oh, by the way, I just have to take issue with one of his last questions from Axios. They asked him window or aisle, and he says definitely window seat because I'm a big napper. Window seat people are weird. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know, Jordan, are you a window seat person?
I mean, just not a middle seat. Aisle's fine, window's fine, not a middle seat. I like to look out, especially if I'm flying out west from the East Coast. I like to have the window seat so I can look out over the desert and the mountains. That's pretty cool.
Okay, that does sound good. I need access to the aisle. I don't care if they wake me up 1,000 times. I need to have access to them. But anyway.
Got it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.